You go to the doctor, you get your blood work done, everything comes back normal, but you're still exhausted, still gaining weight, still not feeling like yourself. There's a reason for that, and it's not in any of those tests. Most people think of the gut as a digestive tube. Food goes in, waste comes out. That's it. But in the last decade, researchers have completely changed how they see this organ. Today, scientists call it the second brain. Some are starting to call it the first, because what happens inside your gut doesn't stay in your gut. It travels through your bloodstream, into your immune system, all the way to your brain and your hormones. And here's what the research is now showing. The state of your gut is one of the strongest predictors of how fast you're biologically aging. A study published in the Journal of Biomedical Science in 2025 found that people with lower gut bacteria diversity showed measurably higher levels of systemic inflammation, the kind of inflammation that drives heart disease, cognitive decline, and hormonal breakdown. And the worst part? Your doctor almost certainly never checked it. My name is Dr. Nathan Cole. This is Hidden Health Protocol, where we translate what the research actually says into something you can use. Let's get into it. Let me start with something that surprises most people. Inside your gut right now, there are approximately 39 trillion microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, viruses, living inside you, working inside you. That number is roughly equal to the total number of human cells in your entire body. These microorganisms aren't passengers. They're actively producing compounds that your body depends on. Molecules that regulate your immune system, your mood, your energy, and even your testosterone levels. Scientists call this ecosystem the gut microbiome. And just like a rainforest, when it's diverse and balanced, everything runs smoothly. When it starts dying off, the whole system begins to collapse. And here's the critical part. This die-off begins around your mid-30s, quietly, without symptoms, until the symptoms are unmistakable.
Now, I want to introduce you to a concept that most people have never heard, but that researchers consider one of the most important discoveries in aging science of the last 20 years. It's called inflammaging. Inflammation is something most people understand. You twist your ankle, it swells up, it hurts. That's your immune system doing its job, fighting damage, then calming down. Inflammaging is different. It's a low-grade, chronic version of that same fire, not intense enough to feel, but burning constantly at the cellular level for years. Research from Frontiers in Aging, published in 2026, identified this chronic inflammation as a primary driver of cardiovascular disease, neurodegeneration, metabolic collapse, and accelerated hormonal decline. And what's the primary source of this inflammation? The gut. When gut bacteria decline and the lining of your intestine weakens, a process researchers call increased gut permeability, or what some call leaky gut, bacterial toxins begin crossing into your bloodstream. Your immune system sees those toxins, it responds, and that response never fully turns off. That's the fire that ages you.
Here's where it gets genuinely interesting. Scientists have been studying the gut microbiome of centenarians, people who reach 100 years old in good health, and they found something that separates them from almost everyone else their age. Their gut bacteria look young. A 2026 study published in Aging Cell analyzed the plasma profiles of centenarians versus octogenarians and younger adults. The centenarians showed significantly lower markers of oxidative stress, meaning their cells were producing fewer free radicals, the molecules that damage tissue and accelerate aging. The researchers asked, are centenarians just better at fighting oxidative stress? The answer was no. They simply produce it less to begin with, and a significant part of that comes down to what's living in their gut. Centenarian microbiomes are consistently enriched in specific bacterial groups: Akkermansia, Lactobacilluses, Christiansonelliaceae, bacteria associated with metabolic balance, lower inflammation, and gut barrier integrity.
Most people over 40 in Western countries have dramatically lower levels of all three. But here's what matters most. This is not inevitable. These microbial differences are driven primarily by lifestyle, what you eat, how you move, how much sleep you get. A 2023 JAMA study found that two people born the same year can have biological ages 10 to 15 years apart, and the difference was almost entirely explained by lifestyle, not genetics.
So, what does the evidence actually say you can do about this? I want to be clear about something first. I'm not going to give you a supplement list. What I'm going to do is show you what the research has actually measured. Mechanisms, not marketing. First, fiber. This is the single most consistent finding in gut longevity research. Fiber is what your gut bacteria eat. When fiber intake drops, and it drops sharply in most Western diets, bacterial diversity collapses within days, not months, days. Research from Frontiers in Aging in 2026 showed that higher fiber intake was directly associated with better gut barrier integrity, measured by a protein called LBP that rises in the blood when the gut lining is compromised. Second, movement. Regular physical activity has been shown to increase gut microbial diversity independent of diet. Not extreme exercise, consistent, moderate movement. The mechanism involves short-chain fatty acids, which are the primary fuel source for the cells lining your intestine. Think of short-chain fatty acids as the maintenance crew for your gut wall. Without them, the wall weakens, the toxins cross, the inflammation starts. Third, sleep. During deep sleep, your gut, like your brain, performs its repair and cleanup functions. Chronic sleep deprivation has been shown to accelerate microbial decline and increase intestinal permeability. 7 hours in a dark room isn't optional. The research on this is unambiguous. Let me bring this together. Your gut is not a passive digestive tube. It is an active, living ecosystem that regulates your immune system, your hormones, your energy, and your rate of biological aging. After 35, that ecosystem begins to lose diversity. The bacteria that protect your gut lining decline. Inflammatory compounds start crossing into your bloodstream. Your immune system mounts a response that never fully turns off, and that chronic, invisible fire is what the research calls inflammaging. The people who age well, the centenarians, don't have different genetics. They have different microbiomes. And the evidence shows that microbiome is shaped primarily by what you eat, how you move, and how you sleep. Fiber feeds the bacteria. Movement produces short-chain fatty acids that maintain the gut lining. Sleep allows the repair cycle to complete. I've left a link in the description.